Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summer presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Chinese Qualifiers. Here we are a little bit more awake for Game 2 of our game between Newbee.M and CDEC. They're going to be going into a two-game series here, so second game, and, well, first game with the way of Newbee.M. They went really strong with a dual core of Phantom Lancer Shadow Fiend. We're able to trump the Gyrocopter, but as it's still in the pool for first pick, they're going to pick it up themselves, deny that Visage a little bit of easy, familiar micro, and just in general get a good resounding draft. I'm really glad they're bringing back the Earthshaker, though. Hansu played that really well last game, and looking forward to see what he can do on it once again. So a little bit of a flip-flop of the cores, but the supports remain the same, and we'll see how it plays out. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I'm myself and Blaze, and this time I'm not alone. I am joined by none other than PimpmuckL. What's going on?
What's up, dude? I thought might as well just hop on and, well, for some Chinese Dota, I like it. I'm personally a big fan of the old CDEC squad with Maybe. Now, of course, Maybe isn't with them anymore, but still, you know, Garda is one of those guys. He might not be the flashiest player, but he is one of the best, in my opinion, on his position. So, yeah, I'm just waiting to see those guys perform, and since there's going to be some qualifiers coming up in just a few weeks, gotta say, I'm pumped.
Yeah, really, I mean, these teams really want to show what they could do in that context, and I'm looking forward to see exactly how they step up their game, what new meta strats we're going to see. Right now we're seeing a lot of this kind of Gyrocopter opener just to counteract the Visage so you don't have to ban it. Do you think that's going to be more prevalent, or do you think that we're going to be looking at... Okay.
Whoa.
Mrs. Wyvern. Yeah, I've seen this a couple of times. Wyvern really does bring in a lot here. I mean, she's got... AoE combo, she's got good control, she's got good movement. I haven't seen a Wyvern lose yet, but I'm assuming that's just because of the players that do pick them up have practiced it quite a bit, and in contrast, the people that they're facing probably haven't fought against a lot of it. I mean, maybe in AP pubs, but that's a very different scenario.
10 seconds
It's also, in this draft, I mean, you see the third pick there, it's a Witch Doctor. Visage has his birds, Witch Doctor with an axe upgraded ult is going to be doing a hell of a lot of physical damage. Shadow Fiend, tons of right clicks. So, what do you pick up? Well, if you have a Cold Embrace, the guy who gets initiated, if you can't really micro the death ward correctly, and let's face it, it's incredibly hard in those hectic team fights, you're gonna have a great time as Winter Wyvern. You're gonna heal someone up for like 54% with the maximum HP, I think it is, if I'm not failing my math right now. So, yeah. Oh, it got nerfed. Okay, so it isn't. But still, yeah, it's a crap ton. Let's be real here.
Yeah, very powerful hero in general. Like I like the cooldowns of this hero, how quickly she's able to get into the fight, and how frequently. And just in general, I've played it in the right hands. This hero can do amazing work. I've seen James play it really well on VG Potential, and yeah, we'll see what they can do here on Newbee.M. Probably these guys probably scrim against each other. You know, when they're at the B team level, where they're all just kind of they're under a big sponsorship, they're under a lot of pressure, but they're all looking to improve and build themselves up to the next thing. They probably exchange strats a little bit, you know, scrim a little here and there, and I think Wyvern's going to be hitting the field in a big way. I don't think she's going to be, like, capable in every draft, but a lot of different ways to make her work. I've seen her work in a level 1 Roshan strat with the Cold Embrace, seen her work in a pushing strat. I mean, just really, there's a lot of really cool ways you can make this hero work and change the field of battle and the shape of it significantly with her ulti. So I think it's really cool to see her, but we'll be talking about the rest of the heroes now. Magnus and Clockwerk, the initiators. Looks like Clockwerk will go to the off lane. Magnus could go either way. Shiki generally doesn't strike me as much of a Magnus player compared to Shadow Fiend, so I think it will be an off lane Magnus.
I would agree there, yeah, definitely. There might still be some shenanigans with maybe some sort of safe lane Shadow Fiend, just because you don't want to go up against a unfavorable mid matchup, but I don't see it right now. It's such a niche. I don't like it as well. Just one more point about the Winter Wyvern. I've yet to see some sort of like carry abuse the insane range you get from Arctic Burn sort of Winter Wyvern. That'd be pretty fun, I gotta say, but I mean, we're not going to see it right here. It doesn't look like it. And also CDEC are pretty much sold on the idea that it's going to be a support that ban out the Viper. So, still, you use 3 bans on the side of CDEC to ensure the Shadow Fiend is going to have a good time. Now, I still do believe there's some heroes like Alina still in the pool, which can function against Shadow Fiend quite nicely. What would you mind seeing here on the side of Newbee.M against the SF in the mid?
it's a little frustrating. I think the Viper would have been pretty solid, but Lina doesn't seem too bad, honestly. I mean, having the burst damage potential, having the combo stuns, the nukes and long range, and etc. I'm just worried that she might be gunned down a little bit too easily by that Visage. The Soul Assumption, the Familiar's pretty much made to bring her down quickly, and yeah, maybe somebody that's just a little bit more maneuverable. I'm not too sure exactly what HEK is comfortable with. Maybe Templar Assassin could bring a little bit of finesse to it. I think TA would be pretty good here, to be honest with you. Not against the Ember Spirit. If they're worried about that matchup, you wouldn't pick it. But if they're confident that Shadow Fiend is going to be the mid and they can read CDEC's lanes as well as they need to, then that would probably be the pick they go for.
Yeah, and if the Shadow Fiend is not in the mid, I think you're facing an incredibly strong Trana with the Earthshaker, Winter with an Gyro. So yeah, they go with a TA. Woo. I still do believe the Visage Birds are going to be an issue for her, and the Witch Doctor ult. That's a ton of actually like instances of damage. I don't mind it. I think the TA is a great pickup here, and I am pretty sure we're going to see some more, especially from the European scene. There's some very good TA players, and I think now the TA is in a niche where she can be picked up such like we see here. Wow, my English. I'm not awake yet. I'm sorry,
yeah, no, you're where I was at 1 hour ago, probably.
It's just big. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh man, my last cast, I was like, it was a little awkward. I was a little shaky waking up, getting through past some allergies, but I'm feeling pretty good now, and looking forward to this one, man. I mean, this is already starting off. Like, I would say the drafts are pretty balanced. There's no clear advantage. I have to give my faith to the Dire side, though. Not only did Newbee.M play a great game one, but they've got the Wyvern. I mean, you got the Wyvern factor. You got to be enthralled by it. I'm looking forward to see what they could do with this. I mean, if you combine, let's say, a Medallion of Courage on the Wyvern with the Meld Strike Desolator of the TA and Flat Cannon, like, people will just be destroyed very quickly by physical damage. It's going to be on the Magnus to really control the fights. It's going to be on him to kind of find those opportunities to lock down Newbee.M when they go for the big plays. And yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to get the wombo combo they're looking for. Because, of course, if you empower the Ember Spirit and he goes for the Sleight of Fist, you get tremendous damage output from him that you can't even mitigate. Like, it doesn't matter if you have armor or not. You just have to have a raw health pool to deal with it. But all the same, it puts so much on Garder's shoulders, and I mean, he's not even like their traditional off-laner. He's really more of a support player, but in this case, they're trading his role set with XZ. Probably if I had to read into this, I would have to say that's because of the upcoming Chinese qualifier. They've got about 18 days to pin down their strategies, maybe actually 17 days. So, yeah, I would say if they're going to do some role swapping and trying some other strats, this would be the time.
Yeah, I was just watching the Dota, and indeed, he has no recorded ticketed game on a Magnus. Not in this patch, not in any patch. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to see how it goes. It is a gamble. I mean, if you do this in an official, you did practice this in scrims. That is what usually happens. So I'm just looking forward to see this. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on the top lane, because it is a very hard lane. Winterwyvern and the Earthshaker, you're out of position once, you have to skewer, and then there is no experience going your way for 30 seconds.
Yep, and we're going to see right now, they just put on the heat. They go for the Arctic Burn, right-clicks, the Fisher as well. He doesn't skewer, but he loses so much health that it's almost as bad as if he had to. But we're just going to see. I mean, obviously the Arctic Burn is a pretty long cooldown too, 50 seconds at level 1. And then the Fisher is a hefty mana cost, so unless they're mangoing one out, they're going to have to go for the Clarity after the stack.
But they have 2 Clarities. They have so much sustain in this lane.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. And then they're going to have Ring of the Cities coming up on the Gyrocopter very soon. That's a hard lane. This is an incredibly hard lane for the Magnus. Poor guy. I feel for him.
So, and we're going to see down bottom that Clockwerk doesn't have too many issues here. I mean, he's got the pull blocked. If you look at the Sentry Wards, this is just a nightmare for the supports on CDEC side. 2 Sentry Wards placed, none of them catching out the Observer that's come out from Newbee.M, and this just gives Clockwerk a free lane. Like, all he has to do is do some decent cog blocking, and he's going to always be able to control the creep equilibrium the way he wants to. So they've essentially gotten free level 6 in the Clockwerk on the bottom lane. They've got the TA doing pretty well against the SF to start, 9-1 versus 6-2. So in general, I would say they're at least winning 1.5 lanes.
Oh, definitely. And also, I love the fact that the Earthshaker was just hanging out, like right up here. He was just waiting in the mid lane, making sure whenever there's a rotation, because the Magnus is missing, this might be in the mid lane. Let's see. And well, sure enough, Guard just runs in. Oh, he gets no, he doesn't get the fissure. Oh, that's unfortunate. This could have been so incredibly good. Well, sometimes it just doesn't work out. That's a shame.
Yep, no skewer on the cliff here. Just trying to control that position as best he can, but actually got a Fissure block for HGK here. Do you feel it's worth the mana? We see it all the time on the side lanes, but mid lane just feels like a little bit different. I mean, the Shadow Fiend just pushes and pulls the waves anyways with the Shadow Raises, so I would have to say that, oh well, it gives HGK a position to man up a little bit. I don't know, it's just really interesting to see Fissure used in that capacity.
I guess he just wanted to have this exact position where he's like right on top of the hill, so there's some misses going the way, and if the Shadow Fiend moves forward, you can really punish him for this sort of move from the TA. So yeah, you exchange a ton of mana on the Earthshaker, who wants to stack anyways. I think it's a cute idea. If it's gonna be paying off, it's hard to really analyze, but in this case, yeah, well, why not? Let's try it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, right? You might as well stack some, and then you might go back in the lane. No. Yeah, and 5-400 is just staying around in mid.
Bottom going to be a lot of damage coming into the Clockwerk here. Battery Assault will ward aggressive off, but look at his low health pool. If this was a level 2 Visage, that would be a dead Clockwerk, but instead he gets the Cold Embrace. They turn it around. Hansu puts out a few shots of the Arctic Burn, burning down Aggressive's health pool. One more right click will bring him very low, but they're going to Splinter Blast. Still going to be able to salve through it. So Ember Spirit will survive, expending all of his regen, and Clockwerk is suddenly back at full HP. Going in, looking for the cogs, doesn't hit on anybody though. Man, if only the Visage was just level 2, then it would have been the cleanest kill, no turnaround. Instead, they're hiding under their tower, and look at the range creeps. 3 range creeps stack up, the siege creep as well. All these creeps under tower, they want to farm them, and yet here is Clockwerk diving their tower in the process, because he knows there's so much creep. There is going to be the Fissure, there is going to be the First Blood against XZ, unless they do something. Battery Assault will take on a lot of creeps here. Splinter Blast, he's down to 6 HP. There's the First Blood. Clockwerk finally obtains it, and Cog knockbacks Aggressive, who just can't do anything. He just wants to farm, he just wants these creeps, but it's so hard under so much pressure. Oh, the tension is palpable here in the bottom lane, and the First Blood is spilled by Newbee.M.
That was all out. That was crazy, and the Earthshaker was making his way over. So suddenly you have some sort of like trolling down bottom. You don't really want to have this sort of thing happening to your poor Ember Spirit. And this goes back to the ward, because they couldn't de-ward it. There was no level 2 in the Visage. This would be such an easy kill on the offlaner, but no, nope. I have to reconnect real quick. I have a PowerPoint presentation once again.
Perfect world, so good.
Yeah.
So we've got, I mean, right now, Gyrocopter's already built up his phase boot, so even though the supports have kind of abandoned him, he's in a good position to just 1v1 the Magnus. Anything that the Magnus gets out of top lane is of equal or lesser value to what they're taking away from bottom. In fact, Aggressive getting caught out here. Oh, what a pickup here in the, just Fissure into Cogs. Very simple, very clean, clear cut. And it's very difficult to see that coming when you don't see the enemy heroes. The lane ward that has been placed out here in the mid lane just doesn't show enough vision, and they don't know about the Earthshaker position. They don't know about the Wyvern. They could, for all they know, they've gone back to top lane. They just had no idea that Fissure was incoming, and that's another kill for Newbee.
Yeah, that's great, though still, just because you have those pretty much crazy rotations down bottom, and you're getting the kills on very important targets, but the Magnus now has level 4, has to go back to the base, so it's not bad by any stretch, but you're giving the enemy Magnus just a bit of an opening, and I wonder what he does, because I want to see some stacks go in the way.
Okay.
I think it's fine, I guess.
Bottom had some really weird cog interaction, where Q was literally on top of the cogs with mana, and not getting knocked back until they dispelled. I have no idea what happened with those power cogs, but whatever.
Maybe just animation lag? I don't know.
It was very odd. I'll say the least. I'll just say that. But either way,
I still don't have animations. Oh, Clockwerk hasted. Let's go.
Yeah, that's generally the mentality for the Clockwerk. And oh my, just walking right up to where the Visage happens to be. Hey, your pull cam finally spawned. How do you feel about that one? Oh, you're gonna go for a pull? Well. If Q doesn't realize about the haste rune, he still might try to farm a couple of these creeps, and that's where he would be caught out. But now he sees it pretty clearly. Up top is where the action is going to be instead. Garter going to eat some damage. Looks like he'll still be able to skewer away. You don't trade hits here, though, Garter. You get slowed, you get the long-range damage output, and you lose half your health. So Soon enough, I think he's going to be forced back to Fountain. At this point, he's completely out of regen, so he's either getting a bottle right now, or he just has to go back.
Yeah, it hurts. It's just Arctic Burn is just immense, especially when you have a second support there just to stun up someone. And 1 second stun, like, I mean, Fissure level 1 is what? It's a 1 second stun? That's not much. But it doesn't matter because you get like 2 auto attacks in this time. It's incredible. Still, Blaze, where are we heading from this side of the Ember Spirit? Because I'm not sure if we're gonna see a rushed Battle Fury, like, or 2 of those, because I feel like he needs some stats to survive, maybe some drums early on.
No, the important thing to consider is he has Empower, right? So 50% cleave is already inferred in this situation. That's just a question of how clumped do you think they're really going to be. If you go Battle Fury plus Empower, you get 85% cleave, but whether you're going to be able to capitalize on it that much, I'm not so sure. In my mind, you could still just go for a damage build. You can still go for... I hesitate to say Shadow Blade because although it's still secretly OP, a lot of people will not realize how good it can be, and you realize that the timing window is so narrow that most of the time it's not going to work out too well for you. So I would say maybe like a Desolator or something like that could go pretty well, actually. Just any kind of physical right-click, because once you have that Empower, you know you're going to be able to deal the AoE damage. If they're clumped up, you're going to be able to do insane damage just with the 50% cleave. I would say just focus on your single target output, and actually he's going to get caught out a little bit by the Clockwerk. Searing Chains will give him the distance he needs though, and the hook shot won't follow. But I don't know, if you, let's just say no Battle Fury at all. Let's just make that inference based on the Empower. If you're going no Battle Fury at all in the Ember Spirit, what do you favor?
I would definitely just favor some early items, like the drums, just to survive the early, like, insane damage which is going to be coming out from pretty much everyone. The TS is going to just right-click you away, then there's a gyro. Oh, hookshot up to the high ground, nicely done there, and oh, this is going to be such an easy kill on the Witch Doctor. He doesn't have an ult, he doesn't have anything, he can't even go for the stun.
Wow, they're going to try to turn around. They do some good damage here with the Activate Fire Remnant, and that ticks the Maledict one more time, but they need the Searing Chains, they need the right clicks. The Fissure almost gets him out, but the Still Assumption on the tail end of it will bring him down. In the meantime, in the mid, they're pushing down hard onto this tower. So, yeah, I think stats build is pretty good here. Aquila, Drum, and then consider either Scotty or Dezo as a follow-through, depending on what orb you're really looking to apply with your Sleight of Fist, because every single target hit by the Sleight of Fist, of course, it receives the Scotty debuff or receives the Desolator debuff, and that just helps out heroes like Shadow Fiend even more, and the Familiars and the Death Ward, like you're talking about. So I kind of favor the drums into Desolator in my mind, because of all the physical damage from their ultimates, but whatever they end up going for. The big thing is they're actually going to be able to build it up pretty quickly. Although the lane's pretty difficult for the Ember Spirit and he's only at 3k net worth, the Garter has been very diligent about stacking up the Ancients of the Radiant side. He noticed that the first spawn was dragons, and so you see the little lesser dragons are missing some HP. He's been shockwaving to actually stack those because they take magical damage, and he's been doing it perfectly almost every minute. It's just been really good. Now we're going to see 5400, a little bit overextended, taking a lot of damage from creeps, but trying to bait to set up the Clockwerk, and he gets in close proximity of the Shadow Fiend. Can't cast a spell, can only right-click, and that won't do enough here. He'll go down.
That's crazy. I mean, the Shadow Fiend just going down. That's very unfortunate. And this Clockwerk is doing some mad work. He's level 8. He's one of the highest levels in the game. Now here comes the Ember Spirit. The Cogs perfectly blocking everyone out. You shall not pass, boyos. CDEC. They cannot find the openings needed. But there's tons of stacks. There is the comeback mechanic. This is going to be so much experience going their way. And I'm looking just at the experience shot. Wow, they're going again. Can't find the Slayer of Fist chains because he doesn't have the Slayer of Fist skilled once. And look at this Clockwerk. He is just not scared at all. He's just going at it. And he wants to steal this experience.
Yeah, just getting some from the stacks here that Garter is looking to farm up, and that's just a really good efficiency from him as a whole. You will notice that the Radiant did place an Observer Ward here on Gyrocopter stacks, so another lag spike. Calais, I knew that was coming, and yeah, we'll see them go for the flak here. The Wolf Aura also helping out, nice little boost at 30% as I don't think he's been using the Wolf to stack, but he might have done it that once. In either case, the Dragon's going down pretty quickly here. Gyrocopter, does he want to go for a BKB this game?
Well, if I'm looking at raises, at soul assumptions, at chains, you know, that's a cast bouncing through. There's some good, yeah, I want to say some good spells to some sort of evade, but at the same time, tons of physical damage. I think you just want to wait a bit. Maybe check what the Shadow Fiend is going, maybe check what the Ember Spirit is going. If we're gonna see some sort of mech Shadow Fiend, which very much looks like it's gonna be. I do believe a BKB could be coming out, but so far I think it's open. It depends on the game. If you want to finish it, go BKB, go push, go hard. Also, please notice the one side trap on the Ancients on the side of the Radiant. Very nicely done. Keeping tabs on everyone.
Oh yeah, good call there. So they do have vision here. Dire side are completely aware of what's going on with that, and they should be looking to contest that. There's no way they don't go for that. When you have heroes like Earthshaker, Gyrocopter, and Winter Wyvern, which thrive in a combat in that choke point here. So there would be a big engagement around this general area, and they would be able to just do so much work. So I really do think that would be a really good time for them to kind of make their first big 5v5 engagement. And yeah, they're just kind of going to be building up for that, is to contest those stacks and maybe steal them for themselves. I mean, Gyrocopter, TA, both very capable Ancient clearers with their multiple area of effect attack effects. So we're going to see Garter take more damage. He really is reluctant to use the Skewer to disengage, though. I feel like 80 mana and the cooldown is very well worth, you know, the 200 HP you're going to save with those extra right clicks coming in. But in the end, he just takes more shots. He just keeps falling back, Shockwave at long range, and doing his thing. In the meantime, looking at overall... Oh, no, the Ghost just goes down. Just straight up goes down. They Winter's Curse him. They right-click him. They didn't even need that call down, but they will secure it with that. Essentially, just... He's very reluctant to disengage. He uses the Skewer at the last second, but by that point, he's already caught in the Curse.
Yeah, I think this was a soul thinking, like, if I try to skew, there's gonna be Winter's Curse. Maybe this. I'm not sure. Anyway, bottom lane, they're gonna be going up on the Clockwerk. Tons of remnants. Is there gonna be enough damage? He's really freaking tanky.
Oh.
Misses the hook, so it doesn't care. And this is bad for the women.
Yeah, I mean, he can negate some physical damage, which means the soul will come out. Soul Summoner will come out a little bit delayed, but it still will come through. It still will kill off Hansu, and then the Clockwerk disengaging with the cogs here. So, as it stands, we're just in a kind of a spot where the cores are getting farmed, but we are seeing some kills go back the other way of CDEC, and it's going to be the Sanj from the Gyrocopter. S and Y, you feeling that, or could it be something different? There are 3 items now the Sanj could technically be.
Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Which things would you want to disable on the side of CDEC? Because I honestly don't see it.
You disable Empower. So Empower's Cleave is disabled by Silver Edge.
Right.
So that's probably the best thing.
Right, I guess. But apart from this, I mean, there's not that much.
Yeah, no, I mean, the Presence of the Dark Lord, the...
Well, you know.
Gravekeeper's Cloak, like, those are okay, but really the Empower is the only thing you want to actually disable. We're actually going to see a Fisher block here. Garter, oh, will survive. Just barely. If the Fisher comes out a moment sooner or the Skewer a moment later, that's a different story. But honestly, I'm okay with him getting away once in a while. Like, he's had such a hard lane. I feel for him so bad. And Rocket Flare? Oh no, that would be so bad. Oh, yeah, I feel really bad for him. A support thrust into the off lane, just trying to get a feel for a new role. I actually very sympathetic for his position, so I'd rather him not die again.
Yeah, poor guy. It's hard. Maybe he can get the stack going like this one here, down the hard camp. It's precisely what he needs for the Blink Dagger. And I think if you're on the side of CDEC, you might as well just give him. I mean, screw the Shadow Fiend. There is a Blink Dagger which you want to have, because Shadow Fiend still has a smack. So yeah, now the smoking is coming up, and it's going to be big.
Yeah, that's the idea. We'll see aggressive moving in. There's going to be Clockwerk just scouted out immediately, and we're going to see him caught in everything. Just good soul assumption, good damage coming out. Clockwerk's certainly dead, but Taikale, lag on the players, lag on the viewers, and we'll see how this fight plays out after the unpause. So thinking about current position here, Winter's Curse, massive in the river here, but the Gyrocopter, is he going to be able to get there in time to really lay down all the damage? His Flat Cannon on cooldown, his call down there?
It's gonna be... Wait, he has no flat cannon, right?
Yeah, no flat cannon.
So he only has cooldown. Now, 500 is on a pretty good spot. He can just fissure them, and then there's gonna be a cold embrace. Let's see this. Come on, boys.
Oh, Winter's Curse just under 2. There's gonna be a Requiem coming the other side. It's gonna be canceled by the Fisher. Oh, Shiki could have gotten an amazing Requiem, but instead, the river means death for the Dire side. They're in retreat up on top. Aggressive pursuing to no end. Drums pop. The RP missing, but still the right clicks coming through. Can they get any disable on him at all? Big damage from Shiki, but TA's here on the front line. trying to disrupt him, trying to prevent that last right click from coming through, and it will! HEK saves the Gyrocopter's life, the Requiem in frustration almost, just to negate the refraction, and now it's being burned down by the immolation. She's trying to wait it out, but she can't blink out of this one. She has to refract and run. We'll see her go, but the immolation is too strong. The Flame Guard will bring her down. Still saves the Gyrocopter, but that fight as a whole, really bad for Newbee.M.
Block, please.
Whoa, really?
The agility treads, just to ensure that he's got his attack speed up.
Yeah, definitely. Armor, really? No, I have no idea. That's just very awkward indeed to go and engage in that position.
Gotta might be dead.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about that a lot this game, but in this case, yeah, they are pretty close. Pretty close.
I mean, surprisingly, he died just once.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it feels like he's been in jeopardy 10 times this game, but only one death so far. And their team is now leading by kills. He's got his Blink Dagger, can't really complain.
No, definitely. I mean, he's making the most of a crazy situation. When you go up against this sort of super crazy tri-lane, I mean, a Gyrocopter alone is already hard enough, right? Because he can zone you out if he skills homing missile just once. You can't even know, and then there's some, there's some missile in your face, and you're gonna get stunned for an eternity, and you're actually dead. So yeah, it didn't happen, but it's always in the back of your mind. Because you can't rule out that there is one value point in the missile. But it looks like there's going to be Saint Nyasha, speaking of the Gyrocopter, so the more standard build, get the Helm of the Dominator to really keep your farm going, and there's another great stack here on the side of the Dire. I like it. And well, just get some S and Y, get the movement speed, get the tank ability, and then go from there.
So we're going to get attack speed on this Gyrocopter against the Visage so that those 4 hits come out sooner rather than later with the Flak Cannon. But yeah, HEK taking a lot of damage here in the front line. Not sure if he wants to stick around. The Searing Chain's doing some good damage to him, but they will at least do some hits. Oh, they get the Winter's Curse on Aggressive. He'll go down. No! He's able to jump away. There's an RP. Onto 2, onto the Death Ward. Nice Cold Embrace, keeping Gyrocopter up, but still a lot of damage coming out. Hard to see exactly what's going on with all this slideshow Dota, but it is HEK taking some major hits underneath the Sentry Ward. It's Clockwerk pinning into Shadow Fiend. They blink into the cogs to bring him down, but in the end, the TA will follow the Clockwerk with him, and Garter will skewer away. Cold Embrace will only keep Clockwerk up so long. They get the Malediction, they'll get some big hits, and 5400 might go down too. Nice Remnant forward. Aggressive in a perfect position to clean up everything here. Just needs the chains, just gets the kill, and Clockwerk will fall to the Maledict. It's a double kill for XC, double kill for Aggressive. Only Hansu will be able to fall back and survive.
I'm so surprised this went this way, because the Witch Doctor ultimate, like, it wasn't, the freaking Death Ward wasn't microed at all, so the whole ultimate went into a person which was Cold Embrace, or at least this is what my client showed. There
Gyrocopter the entire time, the entire Death Ward went into him.
I don't even know, like, you have to micro this, it's so hard, yeah, I get it, but this is, like, crucial against the Winter Wyvern, otherwise you just deal absolutely
there are still some people out there that don't realize you can actually change the Death Ward's target, and
you can bind it.
Yeah.
You can bind it to, like, I don't know, like 3 or something, whatever you want, and it's actually not that hard. But it's hard in the heat of the battle when everyone is just going full crazy. So yeah, I can't follow XD for this. It's not easy at all, but still. That was a cute teamfight, I guess, for the side of CDEC, and not 12-6. This is pretty much exact opposite of the last game, right? Because I was just tuning in when it was like around 50 minutes, and it just looked like we were having a firm grasp on the game there. Now this time, the exact other way around, I like it.
Yeah, and we also look at the late game, and it's not as convincing for Newbee.M. Like, TA and Gyrocopter, they're really good, but all the same Shadow Fiend, Magnus, and Ember Spirit all on the same team for the late game. I feel like CDEC have more potential once they get their items online, and they certainly are getting the farm momentum for that now. But we are going to be looking at some damage coming out here. The Winter's Curse, the Splinter Blast, still not going to save the Earthshaker's life, but will set up a kill onto Aggressive. So good opportunity there from Cold Snap, showing them Winter's Bite, and we're going to see a hookshot connect onto 2. Perfect hookshot, but where's the cogs? The Paralyzing Cask already in flight. There's no cogs, and they can't capitalize on it. And is your screen as bad as mine is? Because it's pretty ugly.
It is completely awful. I have a lagging PowerPoint presentation at this point in time.
It's not even our connection. I'm pretty sure the players are experiencing this all the same. Because my connection is usually pretty good to Perfect World.
Oh, well, I have no idea. I'm not gonna be talking about Perfect World Service and routing. Anyway, oh wow, we going in, boys. This is gonna be a nice RP.
Oh wow!
What a great ultimate from the Shadow Fiend. pulling everyone back and a death watch just for good measure because he wants to look at it go. And now even the Winter Wyvern is going to be on the run here. Cold Embrace is not, no, nothing is available except for, well, he tried to get it off. And in the backlines, there's Aggressive getting in here, gets 1 kill. Maybe he can get more. The Clockwerk is the sole survivor of the whole thing. Can he even tell the story to his mates? Back in the base, no he cannot, gets brought down, right clicks. Oh, there, and Aggressive gets a double kill. And Roche perfectly already like brought down on the silver plateau. Wonderful.
And we'll see they just go to Shiki. So, I mean, this position, CDEC are just taking this by storm. A couple of amazing RPs. Garter, he may not be the most familiar with competitive Magnus, but once he gets that Blink Dagger, he just plays it as well as any other. I mean, it's kind of like you use your Rubik experience in that situation. You're just like, well, I know exactly how to use these spells. I just need items. And the laning phase is usually the hardest in that situation. So the fact that he got out of the laning phase with only 1 death and now got the Blink Dagger, ever since then he's been just pulling out all the stops. And it's very fun to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you shut him down so hard, and you try so hard to make sure that this guy has nothing, and still he delivers. Now, this ancient tech hasn't been taken for like such a long time, I feel like, and he's taking it again. That is, I think it works.
Maybe.
But they're blocking themselves
close.
So much.
Yeah. It's close. It literally would be like just...
That's a quad stack already, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, no, it's pretty much as big as it can be. If you cut down some trees, if you cut down like all the eastern trees, I think you can get 1 more stack out of it, but probably not even worth the time.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's too next level for me, that's for sure.
And that's a double damage Empowered Ember Spirit, getting a buff up of 120% damage, cleaving 20% as well.
Yeah, that's an easy stack.
Yeah.
Let's see the gold. He's got 2k. All right, let's see how much does he get? Like 800?
Oh, I think it'd be over 1,000.
I think it's close.
Let's see the big ones giving a little bit more here.
You might be right. Oh, thanks to God.
I think we're like halfway in between. Yeah, 950. So.
Yeah, you got 950. All right, 950.
So,
some Visage going down bottom. Who cares? We just saw the farm in.
Well, honestly, it's more impactful to clear the Ancients than to get a hero kill right now. So, like, it's a blink meld strike. I don't. There's not really too much to look into there.
There's actually familiars going down, so now there's going to be like a 2-minute opening with just 1 bird.
Oh wow, he just summoned those. Yeah, okay.
Something.
Yeah, he just
summoned those.
And then
he has to wait. That's actually pretty interesting because he has to wait because he's got a Hand of Midas. He's got 2k gold, so he's going to be farming up the few like 800 gold he still needs after using the Midas. Oh wow, what a blink by Shiki! He wants to go up onto the gyrocopter. Now there's a homing missile finally being done, and they see 500 on the backlines. You cannot run from some guy who can just teleport all over the place. Now another TP coming in, maybe a bit of an overplay here, Blaze. What do you think?
They're going in pretty deep here. They're going to get controlled a little bit. We're going to see them do enough damage to bring the TA. Refraction means nothing against the Ember Spirit, but the Winter's Curse, Aggressive will kite around it. We'll just maneuver away from it, and then they'll bring all of them into the Magnus RP. Beautiful combo there. And now we see Cold Snap can't even get away from this one. This is going to be his 4th death, and that's going to be Newbee.M wiped out completely. So they went in, and it looked a little dicey, going kind of toe-to-toe 2v2, but once the reinforcements come in, all the stuns come through, CDEC are just better in that position, and they're able to do so much work. Now, TPing back, refilling a bottle, and of course, remnanting right back to the front line. They take down tier 2, and they are dominating the map.
Yeah, it's just insane to see those guys play. Also, we were both actually wrong. We talked about, well, we were partially right. Like, we talked about the stats build on the Ember Spirit, get some jumps going your way, get some early game items, and then he went Manta style and just was sure that we should look like fools. Now he goes again, 1, 2, 5, 400 easy killings. Yeah. Doesn't have anything. Could have expanded the ecosystem, but why? He's a level 8 Earthshaker. He does respawn so quickly anyway. Yeah.
I've seen the Manta build before. Usually you see it when you're up against Silence. Skywrath Mage, Orchid, stuff like that. You see that much more frequently under those circumstances. Here, there's really not that much to dispel, to dodge. It's still a good overall item, but in this case, it's just mostly for the passive stats. It's not the best pickup, but it's perfectly fine in this case.
I mean, if you're lucky you get out of Corks, you might actually get some... Oh, never mind. Go ahead, Blaze.
Okay, so we see XZ getting picked off here, but a lot of damage being returned to the Clockwerk via Soul Assumption. The Cold Embrace will keep him up, but the Soul Assumption will still knock him down. XZ healing with Voodoo Restoration all the while, and the Inner Shadows helps him out too.
Oh, he dodged
the Echo Slam with that Sleight of Fist, and that is going to be Two going down. Ultimate's wasted. Their initiation turned against them.
Yeah, that was... He was just showing off at this point. He was like, alright boys, you actually doubt my item pickup? Alright, I show you what I can do. This is nice. Love it. It's not reliable, obvious, but still.
Was that a Manta dodge or a Sleight of Fist dodge?
I think it was a Manta dodge, wasn't it?
Well, I heard Sleight of Fist around the same time, so it could have been Sleight then Manta, but...
Oh, yeah, maybe the Kale of us. It might have actually looked like it.
Yeah, no matter. But it was a good dodge, no matter what skill you use, and... Echo Slam... turns into a question mark. 5400. He can't really do much here. Like, he's got Soul Ring Tranquils. He'll hold the high ground with Fisher spam. And they'll try to build themselves up, but it's just their cores are so weak. If TA had a BKB, I would feel so differently about this game, but she's just a little bit off. And, of course, the Gyrocopter working his way there, too. And he's actually caught by the steering chains trying to pursue aggressive, but there's no way you catch him now. Just too much movement speed.
Yeah, even with a main, it's just way too much. You can't really get him. And now we see the Clockwerk getting a bit caught out. They've got the death ward.
Yeah,
he's dead to right. Just leave him.
Yeah, if he had a TP scroll, he might be able to make it back in time, but out in the open, he's definitely dead.
Such a hard death to do. Like, to receive, I guess. Because you get a malediction and you know, well, I'm so dead. And then the last tick's just completing like 400 damage or something crazy. And there was no Winter Weapon to heal him up.
Yeah, Swell's not. Yeah, he was focused on
with a Shadow Blade. Sorry to interrupt you, but what?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Sexy Bambo go for this kind of build, where he's just like surprise attack.
Okay.
Able to catch people off guard, and they will pull HGK into a meld, but they'll just wait for the Flame Guard to cool down, keep his Blink Dagger on cooldown with Shockwave, and they'll look for the Flame Guard play, but in this case, it is going to be too many people reinforcing the TA, and they'll just kind of fall back from this. Instead, it's the Shadow Fiend who gets caught by the full Psionic Trap, the Fisher, and the Splinter Blast. So he's going to go down before they can help him. And there's going to be RP onto 2. They're going to still go for it, but Winter's Curse makes this a difficult play. The Aggressive can still go in, but he has no Empower. He's all alone. He's got to jump away. So he will, but we're going to see some good damage from the Gyrocopter here, and seems to want to pursue onto Aggressive. They know there's only one Remnant left available, but they're just going to let their bottom lane fall in the process almost. They're popping the Glyph, Q, having to back off now, but the damage, almost enough to bring him down. I mean, the Gravekeeper's Cloak is really good for those couple of quick burst instances, and in this case, they'll clean up the Familiars, but they will lose out on the Visage kill.
And he has a resummon with an axe available. He doesn't really care about this. Yeah, I just gotta say, like, Mel takes 2 instances of Gravekeeper's Cloak away. But if you dodge, like, okay, you don't dodge it, right? But you have, like, so much armor. You have, like, he's got 23 armor right now. So he really doesn't take any sort of damage from the Mel Strike and the following auto attack. So yeah, it's pretty good. Also, I'm still waiting to see any sorts of Blink Dagger timing from the Earthshaker. He's gonna be level 11 soon, so that's great. He does a lot more damage this way, but he needs a Blink. He needs it bad. There's nothing he can do without a Blink, and especially... Okay, so maybe CDEC is just overplaying just a tad, and they've been doing this, well, at the top lane a bit, where they dove behind tier 3s, but still, you know, I doubt they're gonna do this once again.
I mean, they've got the items to do it now. I feel like the Eye of Scotty allows the Shadow Fiend to really get in the mix of things. In general, like, they're going to have that reinforcing support. They seem to kind of want to play the split push game with Visage, where he just goes and focuses on the towers and the objectives while everybody else fights, and that can work out pretty well. But I don't know, it's just like, it seems like no matter what they do, they can make the right play, because they have so many different tools to make things work. The initiation of Magnus with both Blink and Shadow Blade, they've got some great damage on the Shadow Fiend and the Ember Spirit. The only thing they really need to make sure is that Ember Spirit always has that Empower, because he's so reliant on it without the Battle Fury. In fact, he's actually still building a Battle Fury just to supplement that fact, and to make it so that he's not always getting caught out. And in this position, we actually see that Garter actually maxed Skewer over Empower, and I almost never see that these days. What do you think?
It is very interesting, I gotta say. I guess Garter just wants to go for the big plays, right? No, in all honesty, it has its place. I do not have any idea why this is the case right here. I guess because everyone is quite a low range on the side of newbies, so they tend to group up a bit more. So if you get those like 4-man RPs, it's quite the thing. But
no, I don't doubt his skill usage at all. It's just the build in particular. Yeah, that Empower, I think it's a little bit more powerful. Like when you're getting those big plays, when you're getting those big RPs, you want that cleave damage to capitalize on it with the Ember Spirit. But
yeah, I guess it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
Maybe just wants the damage, could be as well. It's 280 at least. It's a bit
Solo
more.
kills.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's like one of those things where I would love to just ask him, but
This is a nice build, though. I like on the Dire side here. Cold Snap is going for Glimmer Cape on the Winter Wyvern, and what this means is that you can Cold Embrace and Glimmer Cape somebody, and that makes them pretty much immune to everything while they're healing.
And I think with the cast point, it's also that you can put the Glimmer Cape on, Cold Embrace instantly afterwards, and you have this 0.04 seconds of cast delay, I guess, on the Glimmer Cape.
Yeah.
So you can actually just get him, and everything is going to be fine. And he's going to be completely, yeah, doing no harm and stuff. Shadowblade Magnus, can't find it. Okay, so breaking base is apparently pretty hard.
Yeah, for Number Spirit in general it is, right? Like, they're going to be looking for a pickoff, and maybe that's what the Shadowblade's trying to accomplish, but also waiting Roche. It's been a very slow Roche respawn. Up top, HK doing some split push. Does have a DD room for a little bit longer, but yeah, I think Roshan, pretty clear. I mean, right now they're controlling the map. They're limiting Newbee's farms, so they're pushed out pretty well in that capacity, but they won't really look to break the base unless they have a numbers advantage, either with the Aegis or with a pickoff.
Yeah, well, maybe the Sarge birds are just gonna like do their thing on the towers, but there's a smoke. That's a big one. It's rather obvious, but that's a good timing. Roche just respawned.
Yeah, and the DD rune's still up for the TA. She can BKB, then pop the DD rune, and she can do a lot of damage in the fights. BKB on the TA at 10 seconds here makes it so the Ember doesn't just burn through her refraction. It's a really big deal, but the Roche will fall down too quickly, so although they claim the Visage's life first, they gotta make a count. A triple hook on all the cogs, the Echo Slam coming down. BKBs for everybody, double damage rune on the TA, and Shiki will be caught by the Winter's Curse. He still will fall. He'll come back up with the Aegis while Aggressive dodges away from the TA up top. She blinks to follow, but she gets caught out by 3. It's a triple kill by Q's Birds. He's the first to fall, but he's going to get the triple kill from the grave. Oh my. That is just incredible. The fight, it could have gone so well, but they weren't able to fully capitalize on the hook shot onto 3. 1 Force Staff out, 1 Skewer away, and no, it just doesn't work.
That was heartbreaking. That was such a nice hook shot. 3-man hook. I mean, this is... You never get this. This is the dream, but your team is just so far behind. The Death Ward didn't get cancelled. It just destroyed the Gyrocopter. There was nothing they could do. And in the end, the Aegis was used, but, well, that's what the Aegis is there for. Just win a fight with it, and then you're gonna be good to go. The Gyrocopter is getting completely caught out now. Hookshot, well, he's on the backlines. Oh, he finds Invisible Garter. Well, what can you do there? He tries to go for Shiki, but the Malediction is there, and the Clockwerk is going to be taken out in just a bit. 5-400, now gets raised up, gets the right clicks in his face. Now from the bottom, actually, there's Coldstep trying to get down Shiki. He's pretty close, he doesn't even have the Aegis anymore. The RP is onto just a support Wyvern. Oh! And he can't... What?
Whoops,
He can't find
whoops,
his skewer
whoops, whoops.
This is... Hello? They don't even get Rex Place. What is this number I'm thinking of? Okay, well, maybe 5-400 because he was immense on the Earthshaker right
Between 300 and 350, I think, but
yeah,
awkward. The skewer, I don't think you can right-click out of the skewer once he started, so it was literally him just not clicking far enough. He clicked the skewer here, or maybe like here, instead of actually down on the low ground, so he wasn't unable to get out of the base, unable to make the clean extraction. They do force the buyback on the 2 cores, though, so although it looks bad as far as like who's dead right now, in the end, the Gyrocopter die-backed and the TA bought back, so it's still going to be some good value for CDEC, just not the way they wanted. They wanted to take advantage of that amazing fight post-Aegis with the racks going down, but Clockwerk distracts them a little bit, they get a little bit chaotic, and in the end, they do feed away a few kills.
And I'm just rewatching the fight on stream because you have much better PowerPoint than I do. Okay, so I'm just watching the network difference, and yeah, you mentioned it, like double buyback is gonna be hurting those guys a lot. And now we have a 20k gold lead, so is CDEC gonna be like just pushing down mid right now, or are they waiting? What do you think? Like wait for another Roche? I think is maybe a bit too risky even.
It is difficult to wait for that position. I mean, they've got the Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker, they've got the Desolator on the TA. I think those were the 2 things they were really waiting for to take fights. So I could see a smoke play happening, but I think they still have to catch the enemy off guard. I don't think they can go in and just like brute force down a lane. They have to kind of get the opening where CDEC don't see it coming. They might suspect, for sure. And in fact, we're seeing some lines drawn on the map from most of the Dire. But yeah, they're walking under a bunch of Observer Wards here. And although they suspect it, I'm sure they might still be caught. They might still find a good opening with the hook shot.
Yeah, and the hook was pretty much on point last fight as well, gotta say. Now that smoke versus smoke, oh, Blaze is gonna be a huge fight.
Oh, the Echo Slam's there, the Winner's Curse too, but they can't find anybody and they all scatter. Now they're trying to collaborate. Aggressive though, jumping out aside. They waste the BKBs. HEK is going to pursue on the Witch Doctor, just trying to prevent the Agadim's Death Ward here. He will kill him down with the Melchrak RP just onto the Clockwerk and Wyvern. They will get those two down though, and TA is going to run off to the north. At least Gyrocopter all by himself. 1v3, not the matchup he wants. He will go down, and TA is grave chilled up, but it looks like she will be able to skirt away. Aggressive, Sleight of Fist Chains connects. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Aggressive locking him in, and all of CDEC knocking him down. That is a unofficial dieback on the TA. She does get a little vengeance, but that is the GG.
What a game. It was quite the fight, quite the slideshow. I couldn't see anything last fight, so I'm just gonna watch it on stream just a bit, but yeah, definitely impressed. Goddess Magnus got shut down so hard, and yet he delivered. Every little RP was nice, and one of those things where if you hit consistent RPs, it might not be the flashiest one, it might not be like a 3-man hookshot, but it's just so great in those team fights. And the Gyrocopter was always like scattered around the fights because he was so scared of the RP, because Garda was not always expanding it very early, so yeah, he didn't really know what to be expected. And poor Clockwerk 3 in 10 doesn't really reflect his skill, and well, Winter Wyvern loses for the first time in what feels like a week.
Yeah, I mean, good hero, but just in this case, they couldn't really build themselves up well enough. They looked really good towards the start of the game there, but a couple of RPs just really turned it on its head, and CDEC are able to do a lot of work this time around. So it does conclude our 2-game series as a 1-1 draw. We're going to see both teams picking up a win and therefore a point in the group stage here for iLeague China. And that's going to wrap up that match. We're going to be going into our next one very shortly here. So I believe we're looking at Newbee Miracle versus Braveheart. So we're swapping out CDEC, bringing in the Bravehearts, and we'll see what they can bring to the table in that next 2-game series. Thanks once again for tuning in here to Beyond the Summit. Check out beyondthesummit.tv. And if you enjoyed the commentary, look us up on Twitter at BlazeCasting and at PimpmuckL. I guess that'll wrap it up for us for now. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes with Newbee.M versus Braveheart.